Many people recognize that I am a strong defender of liberty. I have a lot of friends who defend liberty, but they are very careless about life. And I am convinced that you cannot be a strong defender of liberty if you don't defend all life. Our country's in a big mess. It's in a big mess spiritually and morally, economically, and I think our foreign policy is a mess. And today, though, we have some business reports, and they're disastrous. And people are very, very concerned, and we're going through a bad time. And it doesn't look like it's going to end quickly. But you know, this isn't the first time this has ever happened in history. It's not even the first time for us. But even biblically, this is something that was well known. Isaiah was very much involved with a problem like this many, many years ago, 740 BC. He was told by God to go out and tell the people, it's a mess out there. Things are very bad. You have to repent. You have to live within your means. You have to bear down. And he said, and God's instruction was to really lay it on heaven. And of course, this came right after King Uzziah died, and there was a lot of charm going there. And when God was explaining this to Isaiah, he says, there's one problem though, people aren't going to listen to you. And this dumbfounded Isaiah. Said, well, why should we deliver a message, and why should we emphasize this if they won't listen to us? He says, it won't do any good. And he says, well, God said, you don't understand. He says, there's always somebody out there that will listen. And your job is to talk to the remnant. Your job is to talk to the people who believe and understand. And Isaiah wanted to know how you can find them. He said, you can't find them. They're there. They're spread out. And we don't even know the exact number of how many people are there. But if you tell the truth, about what's really happening, they will find you. So Isaiah carried out his duties and became a famous prophet. But there was one time in the Bible when they actually tried to count the remnant. And Elijah was designated as the prophet. It was time to tell the people and warn the people of the problems that were happening. And Elijah was so discouraged. He just left Israel, went out in the desert, and he was all by himself when God caught up to him. He says, what are you doing out here? He says, I'm not frightened. That's not why I left. He says, but there's nobody left. He says, I'm the only one left that knows and cares about what's happening in Israel at that time. So God revealed to him. He said, God revealed and said to Elijah, actually, you're wrong. He said there are 7,000 people left in the remnant. And this, of course, gave Elijah enough stamina to go back. But once again, God said to the prophet, he said that you won't be able to find them, you won't be able to know exactly where they are, but they will find you if you have something to tell and tell the truth. That is what I think we have a duty to do today, is in order to preserve the great values of this country and the very great spiritual values, that we have to tell the people the truth. And we do not know the numbers of how many people out there. But I think the greatest example of the 20th century of this remnant idea was what happened in the Soviet system. At the same time the Soviets took over Russia and established their empire, a man was born by the name of Solzhenitsyn. He was born at the time. Just think, he was raised under communism, a communist, atheistic nation, and yet he was raised under those circumstances and defied all odds. He learned how to speak English, he knew the classics, he became a Christian, he was in prison, and there was more than just Solzhenitsyn. I mean, there's always a remnant, and there is a remnant that will listen to the truth. Our duty, I'm quite sure, is to make sure that they hear the truth. And politically, we have problems. We need to tell the truth about the monetary system, that you can't base the currency. We ought to obey the Bible on the monetary issue. We ought to have honest weights and measures, honest money, and not allow the counterfeiters to be in charge of our monetary system. That is not just. But also, we should restore confidence in how society changed, and laws were being defined. I mean, even in the university where I worked, they were doing these abortions. And later on, after the moral fiber changed and the morality of our country changed, then it was legalized by the Supreme Court. And this means that there was a moral breakdown first, and then, of course, then the political system broke down, because who in the world ever thought we would get to the day where our Supreme Court was legislating? They shouldn't even have been legislating. And that's what they did with the Roe versus Wade. If we don't understand that all life is precious and preborn life is precious, there's legal rights to the unborn. I, as a physician, was responsible for taking care of that other individual. I remember in medical school, though there were no abortions, I was taught you have 2 patients now when you're taking care of a pregnant person. And we do know that when there's injury, there's a legal ramification. To me, the moral dilemma that we have to face on the issue of life is this. All the arguments for doing abortion is the woman has a right to her life and her body, and therefore you can't tell her what to do. Which means that she has a right to do that even up to 1 minute, before birth. So if the doctor does the abortion 1 minute before birth, he gets rewarded with a handsome fee. But what happens 1 minute after birth? If the woman or the child or young woman throws the baby away, she can be arrested for a homicide, and she has been. So that puts such relative value on life. If we don't have strict understanding of the value of all life, it's hard to defend free markets, homeschooling, and a sound economic system. So it is these moral values that we have to restate. We have to restate, and basically we had a grand test in this country. We were the freest and the most prosperous, and we believed in freedom, yet in the last 100 years we have drifted a long way to an entitlement system, and we believe that we have to take care of people from cradle to grave. We believe we have to tell people how to live and run their own personal life, and now we've embarked on telling the whole world how to live. We cannot do it. Our responsibility is to ourselves to make sure that we're a moral person and people and take care of our families. And also, if we want to spread our goodness around the world, what we ought to do is set a good example so that others will emulate us and do as we do. The cause of liberty is at stake. Economics is in crisis, but the cause of liberty is at stake. And we have lost a lot. But we do know, and we do have a remnant. All I would like to say is, be part of it, look at these values, and analyze it carefully, listen for the truth, and practice only the truth. And we, once again, can become the freest and most prosperous country in the world. Thank you very much.